Hi, this is Kerry, here with another weekly reading. Once again, I've used the Tarot of the She, and the reading that I get for this week is that we're looking at a situation in which we're called to bring our wisdom into play, that we need to bring the bright light of our consciousness to an emotional situation so that we can tame some kind of beast. And this might be to do with our own deeper emotions that we find difficult to process. It could also be to do with somebody else's, for example, a dancer king, that's a king of cups type person. For example, quite often the king of cups in his less wise and positive aspect can either be a little bit overly rigid with his emotions, fearing being swamped by them and therefore controlling them quite harshly, or else he can give in to them when he's in his cups and drinking. So we may have to deal with that kind of a beast in the form of somebody else, and either their emotional rigidity or their problems with alcohol and being a bit overly emotional. So what should we avoid in this situation? The card here is another card from the suit of dancers or cups, the dancer prince, and his gift is the gift of passion. What I see here is a suggestion that we shouldn't hide behind pretty words. We shouldn't just say things that we don't necessarily mean, and we shouldn't perhaps get overly emotionally involved. This dancer prince has a moon here in the background, speaking of the fact that he's very into his emotions or involved in the unconscious side of things, whereas the dancer king has a sun showing that there's more of a solar influence, more of a logical ego consciousness influence. So we shouldn't get overly involved in our own emotions. We need to bring wisdom to them, conscious understanding, rather than just getting drawn into them. What action should we take then in this situation? The card we have here is the Death card, which talks about finding the wisdom to let go, to work through something, perhaps mourn it, but ultimately release it. So for me it's a card of detachment, of not getting overly attached to our own emotions, of those of others, or the particular situation, being able to let go. And that's often very hard. We don't generally like change very much. But this owl says that we can get a different perspective on things. It has a salmon of wisdom between its claws, and all of these candles represent souls. So this says something about drawing on the wisdom of ages, that we have all that knowledge available to us if we take the time to connect with it in the dark, in our deepest soul. And that will help us in this situation. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Blessed be.